Schmitt tonight. After a very quiet Monday for the president and the White House, Trump is back to fully engaging the media and Americans today, defiantly defending the moves that the White House is making that has created all of these economic nerves. Earlier today, the markets began tanking again after Trump promised a massive 50% tariff on Canadian steel and aluminum in response to a proposed 25% energy tariff from the Canadians. This afternoon, the Canadians backed down. And then Trump did as well. The markets eased after that. The president again telling reporters the United States subsidizes Canada's existence by buying so much of their product that we really don't need. Lumber, cars, dairy, etc. Reminding Americans that Canada spends nowhere near its NATO-required 2% on defense. They're one of the lowest. And explaining why he's making the moves that have caused such economic angst this week.
Our country had to do this. We had to go and do this. They've taken away, other countries have taken away our business. They've taken away our jobs. What I have to do is I have to get the workers back. I have to get the factories open. We have 90,000 factories and plants are closed from what you had just prior to NAFTA, which is not very long ago.
And there's the explanation again. There is a distortion of reality when Americans look at the so-called healthy economies that this country has gloated over for many years. And this goes back a very long time. What this administration is exposing is an economy that CNBC loves can actually not really be healthy at all. Right now, the American media is lambasting Trump for rapidly destroying the strong economy that he inherited.
And this is all, let's be clear, his doing.
Yeah.
He inherited a strong economy. It's his decisions that have led us to this moment.
Donald Trump inherited an economy that was, by almost all accounts, on the rise.
President Trump inherited a very strong economy.
This administration inherited an economy that was actually growing. That's very rare over the last 20 years.
Yeah, it was really strong. Now, nobody could afford anything, but the stock market was high. And our economy was pumped with rocket fuel by Joe Biden, propped up with trillions of our dollars. The markets loved it. CNBC loved it. And middle America paid for that illusion through crippling inflation. Trump is attempting to tackle existential issues that Washington has gotten really good at marginalizing or just outright ignoring. That's what he's trying to do. The decimation of our working class, and then there's also our insane debt. Elon Musk reminds us constantly that we are 36 trillion in debt and spending $1 trillion a year simply to carry the debt that we have as we continue to dump another $2 trillion a year on top of it. If America was a household, we would be the least financially responsible family you have ever met in your life. We look insane with the way we handle money. Today, the left media continued blatant lying to scare Americans into rejecting government efficiency yet again and trying to make this machine smaller so we don't go bankrupt. It all started with this soundbite from Elon on Monday.
The waste report in entitlement spending, which is which is most of the federal spending is entitlements. That's like the big one.
He said the waste and fraud.
Bite from Elon on Monday.
Why?
The waste report in entitlement spending, which is which is most of the federal spending is entitlements. That's like the big one to eliminate. That's the sort of $500 billion, maybe $700 billion a year.
Notice he said the waste in our entitlements is what he's targeting. The waste in our entitlements.
He said the waste.
Those words all day long today were completely ignored, and the usual suspects have been going ballistic.
There are times when Democrats have put words in Republicans' mouths about Social Security, Medicare. Here, he said the quiet part out loud. And actually said Social Security and Medicare is where all the money is. And those are the ones that need to be eliminated.
They said the quiet part out loud. Your Medicare and Social Security, they call them entitlements. Those are things you have worked for your entire life.
You know, Scarborough.
He said the waste and the fraud in entitlements. You dumbasses.
Said
Liars.
sometimes Democrats put words in Republicans' mouths about this, but then he said this is the real thing. He was doing exactly that as he made that claim, which makes it even more disingenuous, but just oh so typical. Also, have you noticed that everybody stopped talking about eggs? That's because that problem's already been solved. In just a matter of weeks, like 2 weeks, the price of eggs has started to plummet. Look at that, down to $5.50. It's still not down enough. I mean, eggs should cost nothing. It's an egg. But it's $5.51 a dozen. Better than $9, $10. They were telling us they saw $20 a dozen in New York over at MSNBC. Problem going away, nobody's talking about it. They're actually fixing things. And far more important than the price of eggs is the price of oil, which is also dropping rapidly with the new president in the White House. It was $75 a barrel when Biden got into office, or Biden left office, I should say, which was what, a month ago, 6 weeks ago? Today, it's $66 a barrel, and it's on its way further down. Your gas could end up being a couple bucks a gallon here really soon. Might be in some places already. Life in America is getting cheaper. Every day it's getting cheaper. This is what you voted for. And yeah, there's a little bit of scary right now. The tariffs, Wall Street's freaking out. Your 401k looks a little weird today. Wall Street expecting a very positive inflation report tomorrow, though. That could very much help. If inflation starts going down, it's a whole new ballgame. And as Newsweek screams about tariffs costing American families $1,000, some numbers to remember. Biden's inflation cost the average American family $17,000 every single year. And again, we are carrying $36 trillion in debt. That is $275,000 in cash for every American household if we wanted to pay back that $36 trillion. That's what these people have done to us. The people that are screaming about Trump right now, that's what they've done to us. It's costing around $1 trillion a year to carry that debt. That's about $7,500 per year for every American household. And the people on TV screaming at Trump have marginalized those numbers for years, but they sure are loud this week.